I got a question for you guys today. How do you guys, we're gig workers, most of us. Maybe you have a W-2, maybe you have a W-2 and gig work. After you're after you haven't worked for a while, whatever that means to you, it could be a week, a month, 2 weeks, whatever. When do you decide? What happens? What needs to happen when you want to go back to work? Especially with gig work, because we work by ourselves, most of us. Most of us in the gig world don't have schedules. Now we don't have schedules, but we have times that are popular. We have times that we know we can earn more than other times. But we don't have a boss or a schedule where like somebody's gonna call you and say, "Hey Pedro, where you been? You needed that PTO, but now the PTO's passed. When are you coming into work?" Or I don't want to have to write you up. With the gig work, it's self-motivating. We have to self-motivate ourselves to hit that spark now, the dash now, hit the Uber Eats, to get a block on Grubhub, to hit the Instacart, right? Whatever the app is. When do you go back? And do you find it helpful to work when you've got a lot on your plate, a lot on your mind? Maybe some of us, maybe you, don't have the luxury of taking time off when you're going through some things. Family stuff or personal stuff, or both at the same time. Maybe you have to continue to work because, hey, I'm living day to day, paycheck to paycheck. I got bills to pay. The bills don't stop, even when I'm dealing with my crap. You might be, I think a lot of us are in that as well, maybe. How do you handle hiding from things or burying yourself in your W-2 work or your gig work to not deal with what's going on around you? Is that something that you think about? There's been many times, even I guess it was about a month ago, a little bit more than a month ago, when my girls were out of town to see family. It's right after I got out of the hospital. And I was by myself for almost a week. And I worked a lot that week. That's a week I made like $200 or something. It was crazy. And I worked a lot. And I felt bad at times, like, should I be focused on other things? But I realized with the gig work, it allowed me to listen to music, podcasts, reflect. It allowed me to miss my girls. It allowed me to have times in the car alone, call other people I needed to call to, hit meetings, whatever it was. And it gave me a sense of this odd sense of freedom mixed with a different kind of accountability. I know that might not make sense to some of y'all, but it helped me. So sometimes gig work specifically, can be a positive during the times when you got a lot going on. This thing is rattling. It's really, really annoying. The road that I'm on is bad. So I posed a question to y'all today. So I think you have to know yourself and realize, am I just gonna work to bury my whatever, to cope? I've used work as a coping mechanism before, trust me. Not just gig work, but W-2 work, I've used it. I've used YouTube as well, making content even when I didn't want to because I felt like I had to escape or whatever. But also I used it, and you might use it as a way of purpose, a way of service, a way of action, a way of, you know what? No, I'm not gonna sit in my self-pity and have a pity party for myself. I can feel things, but then realize, hey, I got responsibilities. I got to get back to work. I got to make money. I got to have a new form of normal, and I got to create that within the work that I might be doing, or even different types of work. How I work the gig economy is going to change. And I'll share that at some point of why, and you'll see it through the videos. I'm not saying I'm not going to do this work, but my responsibilities are going to shift. My timelines are going to look different. And I'm grateful to have the gig economy in my back pocket and knowing my marketplace that I can still squeeze out some money, but take care of the things that are actually way more important than squeezing out money or paying a bill or whatever. Hope that makes sense. But how do you guys deal with work and going back to it when you're dealing with major life changes and just overall, maybe just life overall, and the things that happen? during those crazy times. Today is Sunday. It's 2:32. And I just had that question on my mind as I'm out here running some errands, and I'm going to hit a meeting, and then I'm going to spend the rest of the night with the person I love the most. I'll leave it at that. I love you guys. Always know, like in yesterday's video, the sun always rises. Always. And the gig apps or the work will always be there. Don't feel like you got to rush when you ain't ready. But also, we got to do what we got to do. Our kids got to eat. The rent and mortgage got to get paid. I'll see you guys when I see you. I'll make these videos as I feel it's necessary. Have a great night.